Executioner Hopkins in the 8-count boxing show is a knockout.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bernard.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that fight between Steve Barreras and Jimmy the Jinx Hillhouse. Close decision, coming out of actually a split decision. One judge seeing it for Hillhouse and the other two, including myself, seeing it for Steve Barreras. Very close. A few low blows landed and it was getting rough inside, but Steve Barreras, who's known as the Road Warrior, was able to overcome his opponent, Jimmy the Jinx Hillhouse. That fight was on the undercard of the Danny Romero-Silverio Porras fight at the Kiva Auditorium. Right now, let's go to some action featuring our own Steve Hindi. And this is amateur action from back in the mid to late 80s. This is Steve, who is known now as the Tiger, Steve Hindi, taking on, as I said, we don't know who the opponent is in this fight, but it's a good action fight. I'd like you to see it now. These are the amateur days. We set the Wayback Machine and we go back to action featuring Steve Hindi. So the action's underway now. We're looking at Steve Hindi in the blue top with the white stripe down the side of his trunks. USA written across his back. His opponent, we don't know who he is. This is the unknown opponent. We've obtained this video footage, pulled it out of the 8-count private library, and thanks to Dan Romero, and we're bringing you Steve Hindi in action. And right now you see Steve Hindi, the same style that he holds now as a professional. Steve Hindi is currently undefeated. You see his opponent now banging with the right hand to the side of Hindi, and Steve tries a left hook. Steve Hindi in amateur action. This is approximately 1989. Oh, and Hindi tries a big kind of an uppercut hook with the left hand, and his opponent sticks a right hand in his face. Hindi now missing with the left hand. Steve Hindi, the technician, looking for a way to get to his opponent right now. Similar styles, these two. His opponent now up on his toes, dancing, trying to get away. Maybe he felt some of the power of Steve Hindi. And Hindi, the Tiger, is his nickname now, and you can see why. He's kind of like a tiger move. Oh, man, a solid left hand from Steve Hindi. And Mr. X gets the 8-count. Steve Hindi with a solid left hand just bounces off the head of his opponent, and that will earn his opponent the infamous 8-count. So Steve Hindi in action now. We're looking at him several years back when he was an amateur, one of the finest amateurs ever produced by New Mexico. And right now he's scored a big 8-count on his opponent, stinging him. Oh man, a solid right hand, and the knees go out from under his opponent now with a big overhand right. So Steve Hindi, 2 knockdowns in this opening round. His opponent really got nailed on both of those shots, and the bell saves him. So exciting opening round for Steve Hindi. There you look at him in his corner. He was a tremendous amateur fighter. I don't know how many times he won the state championship. Must have been, I don't know, at least 5 times, but probably more. And Steve Hindi, as I said, is currently an undefeated lightweight from here in Albuquerque, and if you get a chance to see him live, he usually fights on the undercard of the Danny Romero fights. Steve Hindi is an exciting, well, he's a technician is what he is. He's really technically sound, and he can deliver a real wallop. And if you get a chance to see him on any of the local shows, get out there and support the Tiger, Steve Hindi.
I promise.
So we're about ready to start the second round of this bout. This is a 3-round amateur bout. The Wayback Machine taking you to approximately 1989, and right now the ring doctor's taking a good look at the opponent of Steve Hindi, and he says he's okay to continue. So Hindi now comes out banging to the body, and he gets a warning from the referee. So Hindi solidly and clearly dropping his opponent twice in the opening round, comes out again on the attack. He caught him, he dropped him with both hands, so his opponent really has a lot to worry about. And you see his opponent trying to stick jab in there and move away. He's trying to stick and move, but Hindi, with a tight defense, is hard to get to unless you get up in his face, and then you're in the counter punching range of Mr. Hindi. So Steve Hindi with some fireworks in that opening round. I hope you're enjoying this. Look back to the old days. We'll be bringing you this footage from time to time. We've got plenty of this stored up in the 8-count library. The history of boxing in New Mexico, and you're looking at one of the great achievers, Steve Hindi, in action right here with the white headgear. Now his opponent trying to get in, trying to kind of lean in and get to Hindi. Oh, there's a good body shot from Hindi, a left hook to the body. And Steve very patiently now coming forward and looking for oh man, a big right hand. Another 8-count for his opponent, Hindi, with the right hand. Gets right in there and just stuns his opponent, stopped him cold. He says he's okay. The ref is going to let it continue, but I don't think he's going to let it. Oh man, a big left hand from Hindi, that's enough. Okay, the referee's seen enough. Steve Hindi, the Tiger, like a machine, going in and getting the job done. This man, no match whatsoever for Albuquerque's Steve Hindi. A lot of fun looking at Steve as an amateur. He really hasn't changed too much. He had the same style back then that he has now as a professional. And he's 9-0 as a pro right now. And doing real well. You see him, the winner, Steve Hindi. And stay tuned now. As soon as this bout is concluded, we'll have a little special treat, a little musical backdrop, and we'll take a look at just some fun highlights from Kid Dynamite, Danny Romero Jr., to close out tonight's show. But there you see him, Steve Hindi. And let's get the call from the ring announcer.
Referee, stop the contest. 1 minute and 29 seconds. 1 minute and 29 seconds of the second round. Your winner, Steve Hindi.